You love your dog and want the best for them, but some everyday actions might be hurting them. Dogs have a different way of communicating and understanding the world than we do. In this video, we'll talk about 9 things your dog will never forgive you for doing. Some of these mistakes might seem small, but they can cause stress, anxiety, and even break your dog's trust in you. So let's dive in and make sure you're not unknowingly hurting your furry best friend. Before we start, show your pup some love by hitting the like button, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss tips to make their life amazing. 1. Hugs can feel suffocating for your dog. You see your dog, their tail wagging, and you want to show them how much you care. What do? You give them a big warm hug, right? But here's the thing. What we humans consider a universal sign of affection can be perceived very differently in the dog world. Dogs don't hug each other in the wild. In their language, putting a limb over another dog is a display of dominance. So when you hug your dog, you are not speaking their language. You're imposing your human emotions onto them. Look for the subtle signs: stiffening of the body, lip licking, yawning, turning their head away. These are all your dog's way of saying, "I love you, but this makes me uneasy." Instead of hugs, focus on actions they perceive as positive: rubbing their belly, scratching behind their ears, even a simple heartfelt pat on the head. These gestures, combined with a calm and assertive energy, will make your dog feel truly loved and respected. 2. Confusing rules make your dog feel insecure. We all know the feeling. You're trying to teach your dog the rules of the house, but those puppy dog eyes are hard to resist. One day you give in and let them on the couch. The next day you shoo them off. You tell them no to begging at the table, but then slip them a tasty morsel when they look cute. You might think you're being kind, but inconsistency is one of the worst things you can do to a dog. Imagine for a moment that you live in a world where the rules constantly change. You never know what's allowed or what will get you in trouble. Pretty stressful, right? That's exactly how your dog feels when you're inconsistent with the rules. Dogs thrive on routine and predictability. The solution is simple. Establish clear boundaries and stick to them. Your dog will thank you for it by being calmer, more obedient, and ultimately happier. 3. Changing your dog's routine without warning. Dogs are creatures of habit. They find comfort and security in predictability, in knowing what comes next. Think about it. Their entire lives revolve around us. They're human pack leaders. Now imagine if your world was suddenly turned upside down without warning. If your mealtimes changed, your daily routines were disrupted, and you never knew what to expect. That's what it's like for a dog when their routine is constantly changing. Of course, life happens, and sometimes routines need to be adjusted. But the key is to make these changes gradually, giving your dog time to adapt. These small steps might seem insignificant to us, but they can make a world of difference for your dog, helping them stay balanced and secure. 4. Waking your dog up suddenly. Picture this. Your dog is sound asleep, lost in a world of doggy dreams. They're twitching their paws, whimpering softly, maybe even letting out a playful bark. It's adorable, right? And you, filled with love for your furry friend, can't resist giving them a gentle pat or maybe even a little kiss. But hold on. Before you wake your sleeping dog, remember this. Dogs need their sleep just as much as we do. When you abruptly wake a dog, especially from a deep sleep, it can be very disorienting and even frightening for them. Imagine being jolted awake from a sound sleep, not knowing where you are or what's happening. It's the same for dogs. They can become startled and confused, leading to a fear response that could manifest as growling, snapping, or even biting. So the next time you see your dog peacefully sleeping, resist the urge to wake them up suddenly. 5. Taking things from your dog without warning. We've all been there. Your dog is happily chewing on a shoe, a toy, or maybe even something they snatched off the counter when you weren't looking. Your first instinct is to grab it, right? To assert your dominance and show them who's boss. But what if I told you that this seemingly harmless act could actually be damaging your bond with your dog? You see, dogs don't understand possession in the same way that we do. When you snatch something away from them without warning, It creates confusion and distrust. They might not understand why you're taking away something they were enjoying. This can lead to resource guarding, where they become possessive and protective of their belongings. Instead of simply taking things away, teach your dog the concept of give and take. Start by offering them a trade. When they release the item, praise them enthusiastically and give them the reward. It builds trust and understanding, strengthening your bond and making both of you happier. 6. Scolding your dog too late. We've all been there. You come home to a scene of utter chaos. Maybe the trash has been raided, your favorite shoes have become chew toys, or there's a suspicious puddle on the rug. Your frustration is understandable, but before you unleash your anger on your dog, remember this. Dogs live in the moment. They don't have the capacity to connect an action with a consequence that happened hours ago. So if you come home and scold them for something they did while you were out, they're not going to understand why you're upset. This can create confusion, anxiety, and even damage the trust you've built together. Instead of resorting to delayed punishment, focus on prevention and positive reinforcement. Provide them with plenty of engaging toys. Consider crate training if appropriate, and make sure they're getting enough exercise and mental stimulation throughout the day. 7. Not providing enough mental stimulation. Dogs are incredibly intelligent creatures, and like us, they need mental challenges to stay happy and healthy. When they don't get enough mental stimulation, they can become bored, anxious, and even depressed. Imagine being stuck in a room with nothing to do for hours on end. It's not a pleasant thought, is it? Your dog feels the same way. Without puzzles, training exercises, or interactive toys, their minds can become restless, leading to destructive behaviors as they try to entertain themselves. To keep your dog mentally engaged, introduce activities that challenge their brains. Teach them new tricks, offer puzzle feeders, or engage in games like hide and seek. Remember, a mentally stimulated dog is not only happier, but also less likely to develop behavioral issues. So, take the time to enrich their environment and watch your bond grow stronger. 8. Ignoring your dog's body language. Dogs communicate with us all the time, but not always with barks or whines. Their body language, tail wagging, ear positioning, and even subtle changes in posture speaks volumes about how they're feeling. Ignoring these signals can lead to misunderstandings and stress for your furry friend. Imagine trying to communicate with someone who never pays attention to what you're saying. That's how your dog feels when their body language goes unnoticed. When you ignore your dog's signals of discomfort, fear, or excitement, you're not just missing out on crucial communication, you're also potentially putting them in stressful situations. Take the time to learn what different behaviors mean. A tucked tail might indicate fear, while a wagging tail could mean excitement or even anxiety, depending on the context. By becoming more attuned to these signals, you can respond appropriately, ensuring your dog feels understood and secure. Building this form of communication strengthens your bond and creates a more harmonious relationship. 9. Blocking your dog's natural instincts. We love our dogs for their playful antics, their boundless energy, and their unique personalities. But sometimes, those same traits can be a bit challenging, especially when they clash with our human desire for order and cleanliness. We teach our dogs to walk politely on a leash, to refrain from barking at every passerby, and to resist the urge to dig up our gardens. But what we often forget is that these behaviors, barking, digging, chewing, even pulling on the leash, are not signs of disobedience. They are expressions of their natural instincts. When we try to suppress these instincts entirely, we're not only creating frustration for our dogs, but we're also missing out on an opportunity to connect with them on a deeper level. Instead of punishing these natural behaviors, learn to redirect them in a positive way. If your dog loves to dig, provide them with a designated digging zone in the yard. Remember, a happy dog is a dog that is allowed to be a dog, instincts and all. So, how many of these mistakes have you made without realizing? Don't worry, every dog owner makes mistakes, and the important thing is learning how to improve. By making small changes in the way you interact with your dog, you can strengthen your bond, build trust, and ensure they live a happier, stress-free life. Stay tuned for the next video, where we'll reveal even more things your dog will never forgive. Click here to watch more shocking things your dog will never forgive.